Good morning from Fast Company. Here's our daily look into what's driving today's creative business leaders. Authenticity is currency. You can spend it recklessly and go broke, or invest it strategically and build wealth. Most leaders are choosing bankruptcy without even realizing it. Right now, workplaces are debating authenticity. Some call bring your whole self to work a dangerous myth that punishes marginalized employees. Others claim it's the secret to engagement and retention. Both are right, and both are missing something. Unfiltered authenticity without skill can be destructive, and yes, marginalized employees pay a higher price when they try to be authentic in systems that weren't built for them. But your team already knows when you're faking it. That difference between genuine authenticity and performed authenticity determines everything: trust, safety, retention, innovation. Think about the best leader you've ever had. Now the worst. What separated them? Kevin built wealth. Nancy went broke. An employee once described two former managers to me. Let's call them Kevin and Nancy. Kevin had emotional intelligence. When you sent an email that landed wrong, he'd follow up, "Hey, I think you meant this." He remembered small details from weeks ago. You felt seen. He operated from a place of genuine care. Nancy was polished. She said all the right things about supporting her team, but over time you realized it was packaging, friendly but transactional, like a car salesman calling you buddy while steering you toward the close. Surface level all the way down. The result? People trusted Kevin enough to be vulnerable, to take risks, to bring their full selves. With Nancy, they performed, stayed professional, protected themselves. Kevin built wealth. Nancy went broke, losing her best people in the process. The cost of going broke. When leaders perform authenticity instead of practicing it, the price is steep. Trust erodes. Employees start second-guessing everything you say. They stop bringing you problems until they've become crises. They smile in meetings but vent about you in private Slack threads. Performance declines. People feel unheard and stop trying. They do the minimum, knowing their ideas will be dismissed or reworked later. Half-hearted efforts, wasted hours, and endless redos are all symptom of leadership that performs authenticity instead of practicing it. Psychological safety vanishes. When you fake authenticity, your team learns to fake it right back. No one risks being vulnerable or challenges ideas. Creativity dies quietly in conference rooms where everyone nods along. Your best people leave. Not always loudly, not immediately, but they start looking. They stop investing. They give you their labor, not their loyalty. For marginalized employees, the cost is even higher. Research shows the toll of code switching and masking isn't just emotional, it's biological. Black adults, for example, weather years faster under chronic workplace stress, aging 6.1 years beyond their peers. 91% of neurodivergent employees mask their traits at work, and most report burnout as a direct result. That's what happens when people spend their careers navigating leaders like Nancy, constantly calculating, code switching, and self-protecting while leadership performs its way through authenticity. It doesn't just drain engagement, it literally accelerates aging and drives talent out the door. What building wealth actually looks like. Kevin didn't just happen to be authentic, he had the emotional intelligence to make authenticity work. Here's what that looks like in practice. The 4 pillars of authentic leadership. Self-awareness. Know yourself. Kevin knew his triggers and blind spots. When he got impatient, he recognized it and communicated expectations clearly instead of lashing out. Nancy probably had no idea how she came across, or worse, she knew and didn't care. Transparency and honesty. Show yourself. Kevin admitted mistakes and shared challenges thoughtfully. Nancy talked about transparency but never revealed anything real. Her vulnerability was scripted. Consistency and integrity. Be yourself. Kevin's actions matched his words, whether you were in the room or not. People knew what to expect. Nancy adapted to the audience, warm in meetings, different behind closed doors. Respectful adaptation, balance yourself. Kevin was authentic without being unfiltered. He knew how to disagree respectfully, to be real without being reckless. Nancy confused polish with professionalism and never learned the difference. Without EQ, authenticity is chaos, bluntness masquerading as bravery, oversharing disguised as vulnerability. With EQ, authenticity becomes the foundation for trust, creativity, and growth. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You might be Nancy and not know it. Cognitive dissonance lets us live with a lie. When we forfeit self-awareness for comfort, we convince ourselves we're being authentic while we're actually performing. We package our niceness, we script our vulnerability, we say the right words while our team watches our actions and knows better. If this stirs some discomfort, that's your cue to practice emotional intelligence, to pause, reflect, and not defend. Try this on Monday morning. Practice the pause. When someone challenges you, do you immediately defend or take a beat to ask, what if they're right? Audit yourself. Do you remember what your people tell you? Do you follow up weeks later? When you admit a mistake, are you learning or just managing your image? These small acts separate the leaders building wealth from those heading toward bankruptcy. The return on investment. When you invest authenticity wisely, with emotional intelligence as your guide, the returns compound. Trust multiplies. People stop hedging. They bring their full thinking, their wild ideas, their honest concerns. Problems get solved faster because no one's wasting energy performing. Retention stabilizes. Your best people stay not for perks, but for purpose. They don't just work for you, they work with you. Innovation accelerates. Psychological safety fuels risk-taking. Teams build what matters, not just what looks good in presentations. Culture sustains itself. Authentic leaders create authentic teams. It spreads. New hires learn what's truly valued, not what's written on the wall, but what's modeled in the room. The difference between Kevin and Nancy wasn't personality or charisma. It was the willingness to do the inner work required to show up authentically and skillfully. Kevin built wealth because he had the emotional intelligence to make authenticity work. Nancy went broke because she never learned the difference between saying the right words and being real. The question isn't which leader you want to be. The question is, which leader are your people actually experiencing? That's all today from Fast Company. Talk to you tomorrow.
SpokenLayer.